Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Let me get the camera situated. I am doing something different here with my phone and tablet on my stand here, which I didn't know would work, but for it to work right, you get to look out the back windows out of our back porch or office or whatever we're going to call it. I don't know. I have Nomad on the phone. This is going to be another one of them informative videos if it goes right, and we just gonna pick his brain a little bit. Hey Nomad, appreciate you doing the video, brother.
Yes, no problem. I'll stay with you as long as I can. I'm going up and down in hills, so if I get cut out, you'll know
why. Well, if we do, just call me back, and everybody can just listen to me say nothing while you're getting your signal back.
All
what
right.
the heck? Now, how long you been driving?
October will be 2 years.
October will be 3 years. Damn, you're going
2 years.
2 years. Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you'd been out a little longer than that. Well, that's cool.
No, the middle of October will be a 2-year mark.
All right. Now, did you start everything with this company?
Yeah, this is the only company I've been with.
Okay. Now, they put you through school and the whole bit.
No, I went through vocational rehabilitation because my back's messed up, and they paid for my schooling. So this company was just the one that school was going through. Everybody else was going through it, so I did, and I think I made a pretty good choice for the most part. I stayed with them even though I wasn't on a contract.
Yeah.
I could have gone to anybody.
Yeah, from what you've told me, they haven't been all bad. I mean, better than average. So, that's good.
Yeah, I've stuck with them for my whole time.
Now, what kind of research did you do before you decided to start driving?
Well, that's the difference between me and Stone. I didn't really do any research. I didn't know much of anything other than I wanted to drive. I kind of went into it blind.
Okay.
Like a lot of people. All right, I'll get to see the country. It's going to be all fun and games.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it don't turn out quite that way, does it?
Not all bad, but
yeah.
I found out otherwise.
I understand. Let me turn that just a little bit more. Maybe they'll see the hummingbirds coming to the feeder. I just had one out there. There we go. So, in other words, it's just something you've always wanted to do, and you just bit the bullet and dived right into it.
Yeah. It was actually the second time I got my CDL.
Oh, okay.
I was married and had a daughter on the way the first time, and I got my CDL. I went through school, but I got with a company that was local, and it wasn't even really a big truck I was driving. It was about the size of your biggest U-Haul. So
okay, a straight
I never really
truck.
put my CDL to use the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, one just big enough where you're supposed to have a CDL. Probably a Class B,
right.
But you probably had your Class A.
Yeah, I had a Class A.
Well, what was your training school like? Who was that?
I trained with Truck Dynasty. They're here in Missouri. And the school was okay. I think that there was too many students for the amount of trainers they had, and there was a lot of time where you were training people. A lot of time where you were just standing around waiting your turn.
Yeah. I hate it when that happens. So, I'm going to go ahead and ask, although you almost just said, so did they really prepare you decently for coming out on the road?
No, they get you, like you said a lot of other times, they get you good enough to pass your test, and that's it.
Right.
It's
and
the same backs all the time, the same maneuvers, same setups, everything is the exact same. So I got really good at that. I thought, man, I know how to back this truck up. This is no problem. You get in the real world, and there's very rarely ever the same situation and the same back.
Yeah.
So really, they don't teach you nothing.
Right.
In my opinion, I mean.
Mama?
A lot of it I learned by, the hard way.
Right. All right, and from that you went into orientation. And what made you decide you're with CFI? Hope you don't mind me saying, but we might as well get their name out. The old man's down. I think he's in out again. What made you decide to go with CFI? Just that their recruiters were at the school, or what?
Yeah, and the whole school was going there. They were close by where I was staying at the time. It was
Let's go outside.
just seemed like the easiest one to get to, the easiest one to start with.
Yeah. Well, do you have any real regrets with them?
Front door.
No, not really. I mean, I'm a single guy. I don't have any reason to be anywhere other than out here, so I'm pretty happy doing this. I pretty much live out here. That's why I got the name Nomad.
Right. Well, from what you've told me, you know, because we communicate a lot. For those that don't know, we talk on the phone and stuff. You've got a decent off-duty time or home time, whatever you want to call it. That's pretty decent with what they got. Along with that, you're getting the miles that you're getting pretty much all the miles you want, correct?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah,
paid.
they'll run you as hard as you can run.
Right, legally.
Yeah, legally.
And I'm not going to tell your pay, but your pay for your experience and all is above average. I can tell you that. Not much above average, but it's above average. You're up there pretty good. And one of the things they're doing that I like is they don't push you in the wintertime. You done told me that the dispatch might push a little bit, but the uppity folks, the ones in the higher echelon, they're sending out messages saying if you don't feel safe, stop. That's very respectable with a big company.
You'll get a lot of messages throughout the wintertime that are telling you you're the captain of your ship. It's not safe, shut it down.
Right. What would you like to share with folks? Well, first, before we go into that, let me ask you this. Now, we can't help it being human. I know you had some kind of pre-notion about what the trucking industry was going to be like, what it'd be like living out here. Did it live up to that, or is it something totally different than what you expected?
Well, for me, it's a step up. I was off and on in the streets for quite a while, so living out here for me is a whole lot better than where I have been living and the way I have been living. The first year, it was pretty exciting. It was fun to see everything. I still haven't seen everything, but I've seen a lot of the same stuff now, and it's a lot more boring than the first year was, but
right.
As far as living out here, for me, it's a step up.
Well, now what I was asking is this what you expected it to be? Is this what you expected trucking to be like?
Yeah and no. There's I don't know how to put it. It's kind of what I expected. I mean, I knew I wouldn't be home a lot. I didn't expect that it would be so expensive to live out here. I didn't expect the way that you're treated out here at a lot of places. Some places you're worth less than a human.
Yep. And it is a lot more expensive than people think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I live out of Kansas.
Right. Well, so many people, you know, now back in the day when you and I was growing up, we're not that far apart on age. I got you by maybe 10 years or something. Maybe a touch more, I don't know, but it don't matter. Back in the day when we traveled as youngsters, the old golden rule was wherever the trucks are, that's the best dining, which there wasn't a whole lot of places driving across country back then. You know, the old Route 66 syndrome. So, and you did have decent restaurants back in those days. Nowadays, all you get basically is fast food, which is not good food, and it ain't good for you. So, and it's people don't realize it. When they go to a regular McDonald's, they're paying one price. When you go to a truck stop, it's a little bit more. Not a whole lot, because they can't just price themselves out of business, but they do add on so that that truck stop gets their cut. The truck stop don't let them sit up for free. So yeah,
and they don't care either about how good it is or how fresh it is, or
oh no.
And that's a a lot of the food that the truck stop cooks there and in the truck stop, you could go and get it, and it could have been sitting there all day. You know, it could have been there from the night before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's pretty ridiculous.
Yep. And the prices are astronomical. I had a friend of mine that had retired from trucking, and he just did a little run for somebody. He still maintained his CDL and all that. So he went in and took a little run for someone. He hadn't been out in a few years, and it just blew him away. He said when he paid, what was $17 or something for a meal, it just blew him away. Whatever the cost was, it might have been 12, but he was like, damn, it got expensive out there. So.
Yeah, I don't know how much profit, 200, 300% profit on everything.
Right.
That's a business to get into. Forget about driving a truck. Get a loan and open a truck stop.
Right. Well, we had a place down for me. If I'd had the mega bucks, it would have been an ideal place, but somebody else is doing something with it now. Do you regret coming out? Do you regret your choice of careers?
No, this is by far the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's changed my life.
Okay, so for you, it's a good deal. Totally understand that. No. Well, what would you want to...
Being away from home and whatnot, then I think this is could be good for anyone.
Right. Well, I've told a lot of people that if they want to get out of their marriage, trucking's the way to do it.
Right. Because, or if you're not already in a marriage, and you want to get yourself set up before you get into one, this might be the way to go about it.
Well, what would you like to tell people about trucking?
Well, it's got ups and downs like everything, I guess. Like everything and anything. I guess it depends on your lifestyle. And also a lot of what you've already talked about, your personality. You can handle being alone all the time. You can handle being away from home all the time. If you can handle that, then this might be for you. If you can't, I wouldn't even try it.
Right. Yeah, it can be a very lonely career. It's gotten a lot better with all this modern technology, cell phones and all that. Back in the day when we all had to stop and wait on phones or sit at a table and do a phone call, it's changed drastically on us.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what it would have been like out here then.
Well, we had a lot more camaraderie. We had the CBs and stuff. We would actually sit in a truck stop and talk and visit with each other. You'd actually get out of your truck and go visit.
That is one thing I wish I could have been a part of. That's one thing about a CB. From what I've learned in my 2 years out here, the only thing it's good for is bad weather, or if you're in a big city and there's a backup or something going on. Other than that, it's all racism and hate and negativity, and there's always somebody out there telling somebody just exactly how stupid they are.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody out here is a super trucker.
Well, and even at those times, you have to question their information that they're giving you, even on the wrecks in the cities and all that stuff. You just can't trust them anymore.
Right.
Like asking if the weight station's open. They're going to tell you what their side's doing. That's a whole different video.
Yeah.
Well, what was your training like with your trainer when you came over, got out of your school and came on with them, went out with a trainer? What was that like?
Well, when it was happening, when I was with my trainer, I thought I was learning a bunch. I thought it was good. I got out on my own. I realized how much he was just in a hurry to get me out and on to the next one for that training bonus.
Right.
I've seen now a list of all of what this company goes over with students and what the finisher is supposed to do, and that guy didn't show me nothing. He did probably 80% of the backing. I'd say at least 50% of the driving. Yeah. And I didn't know any better then. I wish I had, or it would have been his worst nightmare.
Right.
But I've heard you and I've heard Stone talk about it before. To anybody that's getting into this, be a nightmare. Make sure your finisher is letting you do everything and showing you everything. Get out here and do it the hard way for the first 6 months. There's nothing good about that.
Yep. Well, and I think that's about the time you found my channel was when you was coming out on your own, right?
Yes, it was just a little bit after. I've been watching your channel for not quite the whole time I've been out here, but pretty close to it.
Right. Well, and that's something that I try to push to people is that in one way or another, you are literally paying for that trainer to train you. We're not talking about the school. We're talking about when you've done got your CDL, you've signed on with a company, and they put you with a trainer, and now he's supposed to teach you. And you're paying for that because you're not making full wages or whatever. And just demand that you get taught right. It's really that simple. Do your education, know what he's supposed to be teaching you, and make sure that he is teaching you. So, now do you want to, I know you had a lot of issues with stuff that he didn't teach you. Can you elaborate on any of them? What was it you was finding that he did not teach you?
The main thing is the backing would probably be the biggest thing. As far as directions and things like that, I was fairly good at that. But I mean, the main thing, the biggest thing is the backing. Anybody can drive, well, almost anybody can go forward.
Right.
But like I said, you know, if you're in school, I mean, I was doing great. I had those maneuvers down. I was showing other people how to do it. But you get out here and you don't have phones. You can't see the beam in your landing gear set up the same way every time. You know, it's a whole different ballgame out here. Sometimes you have no choice but to back into a place blindside. It's always a different setup everywhere you go. And that was my biggest thing is backing.
Right. Well, what about the communications? Did he teach you about the Qualcomm or whatever y'all are using? I'm going to try to focus this where they can see them squirrels. Mommy, your squirrels are back. If y'all look,
that's why we did have Qualcomm in here, and he showed me that pretty good for the most part. There's a whole lot of messages that you don't really use very often, but the most important ones, yeah, he did show me that.
Well, that's a good thing. Did he have you dealing with shippers and receivers? Calling for any breakdowns? Did he have you doing any of that, or did he do all of it, or what?
I was with him and we would get to shippers and receivers. We never had a breakdown.
Now, was he a company driver?
Yeah, he was a company guy.
Okay.
And he had been with the company for over 25 years. He was talking about, I might have been his last student. He was getting ready to retire, but I don't know if he did or not.
Yeah.
So I think he was just in a hurry. Maybe he didn't care. Maybe he'd been doing it too long. Maybe he didn't like me. I don't know, but...
Well, still, he had a job to do, and he didn't do it right. And that's a biggie out here is we have so many trainers that are more into it for the money because they do make extra money at it. And some companies, it's fairly decent money. And all they want to do is make you a team driver instead of a student.
Yeah, they want to knock out however many miles that company wants you to have so they can kick you out of the truck and get on to the next one.
Now, let me ask you this, and you ain't got to be exact on it. If you was training, how would you do it differently? When you have a student, how do you think it should be done and that you would try to do?
I would have them doing everything. Unless they were tired or it was unsafe, I would be right next to them. I'd have them doing all the driving. Our company, we want them to do 80% of the driving anyways. You're only allowed 20%.
Yeah.
We want them to do 100% of the backing. Had I known this when I was being trained, maybe things would have been different.
Right.
But I would make sure that they were doing everything. You know, I would help them along and show them and until they started getting it down. But they would be doing it all. You know, it'd be as if I wasn't there. I mean, I would be there, but they would be doing the job. They would be doing the whole job.
Now, did he?
And not because I would want to make free money, but because that way, when they did get out there, they could do the job. They would know the job.
Right, and that should be the real goal of any trainer, is to turn out good drivers. We have such a problem right now with bad drivers that every trainer should be trying to help the industry, not just their pocketbook. So, you know.
Right.
And unfortunately, that ain't how it works. Oh. Now, how much of the driving did you say he was doing? You saying that the company only says actually 80%. Didn't you say he was doing about half of it?
Yeah, I'd say he probably did about half.
Yeah.
He probably did 80% of the backing, and I probably did 20%.
Yeah.
I think he had that backwards.
Right. If y'all are watching the trees, I got a couple of squirrels playing out there. That closest one to us right there, a squirrel going up it, if you can see him. He's got a mate over there in that far right tree. They've been over there chasing each other around the tree, a couple of yearlings. I love watching wildlife. I can't help it. Well, let's cover some information that will help people choosing to come out this way. What do you think they should do for doing any homework or research? What have you learned from your lack of doing any that they might want to do to help get themselves in a good school?
I would find the school that's nearest you, because most likely you're going to have to choose the school that's nearest you. I don't think too many people are going to dare to go across the country to a school.
Right.
So I would find out where that school is and go talk to some of the students that are in there. Ask them how much time they're getting behind the scenes. Ask them how much they're getting worked with one-on-one. That would be the first thing I would do. If they tell you that they're standing around for 75% of the day waiting their turn, you might want to look up another school.
Well, that's good advice. And they're not going to know how good they're being trained, but they will know how much time they're sitting around and how much classroom time they're getting.
Right.
You might also ask them what the classroom time is covering. You know, just what exactly are y'all studying in there? What did you study in your classroom time?
Mainly just the CDL book. The classroom time was pretty short. Most of it was standing out in the yard watching people do maneuvers.
Okay.
Like log books, for example. We went over that for maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So when I got out here this past week and my computer shut down, I had to start using log books. I had to look it up and remember some stuff. But the classroom part was pretty short. It was mainly to get you your permit, get you past the test, the written test, and that was pretty much it. The rest of it was supposed to be in the truck.
What about your pre-trip? How did they cover that?
That was, you would practice that on your own. Whoever you were standing around with, you would just, they had a list, and you would take that and walk around one of the trucks that wasn't being used. And that's how I would spend my time standing around. When I wasn't helping somebody, I'd be practicing pre-trip. So
did they even give you a one-time example of it, or did they just say, here's your book, go do it?
Pretty much, here's your book, go do it. I mean, there'd be somebody out there doing it, and you would follow them around. There'd be a group, and you would take turns. First person would go through their full list as they're going around the truck. You would watch and listen to them, and so on, out of about 4 people in a group.
Yeah. Well, even at that, you're still...
Were teaching the students.
Even at that, you're still basically standing around at least 50% of your time if you count you checking somebody else off, you know. So, yeah, that's still a lot of standing around time. So, and do you have any information on what they might ask or check into on going with the company? Oh, we might have lost him.
That depends on what they want to do.
Oh, you're cutting out on me, buddy.
Am I?
Yeah.
Starting to get into some hills.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand it depends upon what they want to do. Oh. All right, well, you're cutting out on me. I'm going to let you go. I appreciate your time. Maybe we'll do another one down the road and cover some other stuff. We'll talk on the phone and see what we might cover.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Is there anything that you would like to add to this before we get off here, if you don't cut out on me?
Not really right now that I can think of.
Right, of course. As soon as you hang up, you'll be saying, damn, I wish I had told this.
Yeah, I'll have 10 different things that'll pop in my head as soon as we get off.
Which is exactly why I was saying we might cover this again later. All right, brother, I appreciate you.
All right, have a good one, man.
All right, be safe out there. All right, folks, you just heard from Nomad. Got almost 2 years under his belt. Just a little bit of what he's been going through. Hopefully that helped you all out a little bit. And you got to remember, when I do these calls, it's kind of putting them on a spot. They are not, they ain't had a chance to really think about any of the questions. It ain't like politics where they give them the questions in advance. We just hit it as we're going along, and we talk about it as we can and give you the honest truth of what they have dealt with and what they think. So hopefully this will help y'all with your choice in your career. Y'all remember, God loves you, and so do we. Y'all have a blessed day now. Bye.